Hey, Tiger fans, Ben Rosenbaum here for another edition of the Tiger Basketball Report. And as always, I'm joined by the head coach of the Tigers, Diane Richardson. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Ben.
So let's talk about Drexel. Game one, probably one of the more uncharacteristic games we've seen from your squad this year. Just really couldn't get anything to materialize early, struggled shooting the ball, and you fell into a big hole, and Drexel capitalized on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think we went into the game with the energy that we're used to having. And, with a team like Drexel, you can't give them a big head start on you because it's hard to come out of that hole. And we saw that with the lack of energy in our game.
And then not to try to brush off the first game too quickly, but moving into that next game, it was like night and day, really. A lot more energy. What was said between game one and game two that really lit the fire and set the tone for the second game of that series?
Well, after the game, they knew they weren't up to par with, Towson basketball. And then, of course, we had film and they got to see it all. And they watched film, as a team the night before. So they were able to pick apart some things that they could recognize were not typical of the way we play. And then, of course, the next day, the coaching staff showed film as well. And so they got to see that and know that that's not indicative of the way we play, especially with the lack of energy. And so the next day, they came in already energized, knowing that, we let that last one slip away. And, of course, Drexel played their game and did very well at it and out hustled us and everything. But in the long run, we knew that we hadn't played the way we should have.
Yeah, you end up winning game two, 77-62. I believe Drexel took the lead once, and then once you retook it, you never gave it back up. Huge games from Aaliyah Nelson and your freshman, Ali Kubek. Nelson with 23 points, 7 assists, and then a double-double for Kubek, 20 and 14 for her, 14 rebounds to be specific. Aaliyah, we've seen it all year. She's so capable of, exploding for points or exploding for assists or doing both. And, she just continues to be that steady rock at that point guard position.
Yeah, and she's definitely a leader, Ben. We knew that all along, and she leads the team. She knows when to score. If we need her to score, she'll, of course, look for her teammates and drop dimes all throughout the game. But she stepped it up a little bit more, even with her offense and scoring more. And Ali Kubek, you've got to give it to her. This is a well-skilled freshman who knows how to play the game. And again, and I told her once she decides to play and to play the whole 40 minutes, she's pretty good and pretty hard to guard. And she did that in the game on Sunday.
Yeah, and we've seen it going back to the Northeastern series. We saw Ali kind of break out of her shell a little bit. She had a great start to the season, kind of cooled off a little in conference play, but she's starting to get back into the swing of things, and she's also added a three-pointer. And what is that really it? Is it a mindset thing for her just to decide, look, I know I can play at this level, and I need to just assert myself?
Yeah, and it has a little to do with confidence. And, that confidence has to come within. And, we know she's a great basketball player and we have all the confidence in the world and the expectations, but she's got to do that herself. And I think she's come out of her bag now. And we're really, really happy to see that.
The other big part to mention on Sunday's game, the rebounding margin, 44-17 on the glass in favor of you guys. That'll help a little bit, and you guys dominated the paint inside, and it felt like that Sunday game, comparing it to the Saturday game, that was more of a Towson basketball game, especially when you look at the numbers on the glass.
Yeah, absolutely. And, again, with that mindset going into the game that we're going to play Towson basketball today, and Towson basketball, rebounds, and it was a huge margin. We used our size advantage and crashed the boards. We had I think we had 17 offensive boards. So, we're doing the things we need to do. We just need to be consistent with that.
And now you move into this weekend's games against Delaware, who is the top of the conference right now, 17-3 overall, 14-2 in the conference, coming off a split with James Madison. Both of those games, tight games for the Blue Hens. You talk about Delaware, you talk about the work Jasmine Dickey has done this year. 23 points, 8 rebounds she's averaging right now per game. You look at Dickey, what makes her so special? I mean, she's up there when you talk about the best players in the conference.
Yeah, and I've watched Jasmine Dickey play from middle school on up, so I know she's got that motor. And one of the things you can't put a price tag on is the energy and the motor. And she definitely has that. She's got a nose for the ball, rebounding wise. She's got quick feet. She moves into spots. She can rise up. So she's one of those players that are hard to guard, but we've got to find a way this weekend.
And also for Delaware, it's not just Dickey doing it by herself. Ty Battle averaging a double-double for the Blue Hens as well. And this is a team that they're going to move the ball around. They're going to rebound hard. It's going to be similar styles almost competing against each other up in Newark.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And a good, compilation of what they do and what we do. And I think our teams are so very similar. And we'll get to see this weekend some good basketball. And, I'm staying behind my team all the way because I think we've got a lot of weapons. And everybody's going to have to be on their game this weekend.
And you mentioned being on your game. Ball security is going to have to be paramount. Delaware coming off scoring 20 points a game, over 20 points a game off of turnovers alone. I mean, that could make or break a game, really, when you look down and get down to it. So how much are you preaching ball security this week?
Well, yeah, we definitely have to do that. And we prepared for that this week. They're going to jab at the ball. And much like Northeastern did, everybody's always, clawing at the ball. Drexel did it as well. So we've got to make sure we can contain that, keep the ball, within grasp so that they can get to it and secure the ball and be very intentional about our passing.
All right, the Tigers and Blue Hens hit the floor at the University of Delaware this weekend. Both games at 1 o'clock. I'll have the call for you on TowsonTigers.com for Saturday's game starting at 12:45. Both games will be available for viewing on Flow Sports. For the head coach of the Tigers, Diane Richardson, I'm Ben Rosenbaum. Thanks for joining us, and as always, go Tigers.